This is the 1-1E lesson, page 2, and this is focused on operations with fractions. Number 8 says complete the table, convert improper fractions to mixed numbers, and mixed numbers to improper fractions. So we will start with A, which is 21 over 4. And what we need to do with 21 over 4 is we're going to long divide this. We're going to take the denominator, and that is going to go outside. We're going to take our numerator, and that's going to go inside. And we're going to figure out how many times does 4 go into 21. 4 goes into 21, because 4 actually, I should say, doesn't go into 2. 4 goes into 21 5 times. 4 times 5 is 20, with 1 left over. And so now we have our fraction, which is our new fraction, which is 5. That is our quotient, our value up front, or excuse me, up top. 5, and then our remainder is 1 over, and 4 is the divisor that was outside. So 5 1/4. It is a little bit trickier to go from improper to mixed, but if you need to double check that you did that correct, you could also do your mixed to improper, which is to do mixed to improper, 3 3/10. We are going to do 3 times 10 plus 3, which gets us, so you're going around this. This is going to be times, and then we're going to go up and do plus. So 3 times 10 is 30, plus 3 is 33. That tells us that our fraction is 33 over 10. One of the things that is nice about these is that we are going to be keeping the denominator the same, unless for some reason these simplify a bit. C is 40 over 6. So for 40 over 6, we're going to see how many times does 6 go into 40. 6 goes into 40 6 times. Using your times table, 6 times 6 is 36, and we're left with 4. I'm going to color code this. This 6 is going to go in front. My remainder is going to become my new numerator, and this 6 stays the same. And this one actually simplifies down to 6 2/3. Last one, D, 7 2/9. We're going to do times and then add. So 7 times 9 plus 2 is 63, plus 2 is 65/9. Remember, denominator doesn't change, except for C because it's simplified. Feel free to pause this or rewind it if that went too fast. Next, we're going to talk about multiplying. We're going to describe the steps for multiplying 2/5 times 15/8. So step number 1 is to cross cancel if possible. Or if you choose to cross cancel, I think it is a great first step. Second step is we're going to multiply across. And then third step, and we'll describe what these steps mean. If you don't remember that, we're going to double check that it is simplified. That will be really important if you don't cross cancel. Okay, so first step, we're going to cross cancel, and we're going to look diagonally and say, is there a number that goes into 2 and into 8? And if you're not sure, it's usually best to start with a smaller number. And 2 goes into 2 1 time and into 8 4 times. So we can cross cancel. And then we're going to look at 5 and 15. Does 5 go into 5? Yep. And does 5 go into 15? And it does. So 5 goes into 5 once, and 5 goes into 15 3 times. And then what we're going to do is we're going to multiply tops and bottoms. Multiply across. 1 times 3 is 3, and 1 times 4 is 4. If you didn't cross cancel, then you should still have a simplified answer of 3/4. If you just start by multiplying straight across, you would have 2 times 15 is 30, and 5 times 8 is 40, which does simplify into that answer. All right. Next, we're going to talk about how do we multiply. We have something like 1 and 2/5 times 2 and 1/7. We need to add a step, which is change, step 1, fractions to improper. Step 2, cross cancel if possible. Step 3, multiply across. Step 4 is simplify. So first step is we're going to set up our new expression with a times dot. We might even copy over our old denominator so we don't mess that up. 1 times 5 is 5 plus 2 is 7. So we're just changing these into improper. 2 times 7 is 14 plus 1 is 15. Yuck, right? 7 times 15 looks messy. And that's why we use this cross-cancel technique. That 7 and 7 cancel. I'll sometimes even circle these so that I don't miss them or lose them. And 5 and 15, we just did this one. 5 goes into 5 one time, and 5 goes into 15 3 times. Step 3, multiply across. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 1 is 1. And that means that our final answer is 3. And in 11, we're going to look at some other problems using this technique. If you're not sure which steps to follow, are you supposed to follow the steps in 9 or in 10? I would suggest following the steps in 10. And if you notice that you don't need to do step 1, you just skip it. All right, so on 11, step 1, change to improper. That's done. Step 2, we're going to look to cross cancel. So we're looking diagonally. It must be diagonal. 5 goes into 5, and it goes into 20, so we can cross cancel. 5 goes into 5 one time, and into 20 4 times. 3 goes into 3 and into 9, so it's best to start with the smaller number. 3 goes into 3 once, and into 9 3 times. And then we're going to multiply across. 3 times 4 is 12. 1 times 1 is 1. Double check your answer, simplified. It says write your answer as a simplified improper fraction. So even if you didn't cross cancel, it must be simplified. B. First step, we'll set it up and get it ready to change it to improper. The second fraction looks good. And now we'll go back to the first one. 1 times 4 is 4 plus 3 is 7. And then we'll look to cross cancel. 3 goes into 3, but it doesn't go into 7. At least not with remainders and leftovers. And 2 and 4, those work. 2 goes into 2 once and into 4 twice. And we'll multiply across. 7 times 1 is 7. 2 times 3 is 6. And it says improper, so we'll leave it. C, we're going to change when it's not improper. We're going to change it to improper. The easiest way to do that with 4 is just to put it over 1. 1 and 3, 1 is fully simplified, so we don't need to bother cross-canceling that if one of them is already a 1. But 4 and 8, we can simplify that further. We need a number that goes into both. 2 works, but 4 is even better. So 4 goes into 4 once and into 8 twice. And we'll multiply across. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 2 is 2. and that is multiplying fractions. Multiplying fractions and dividing fractions are two skills we use a lot in this class.